In one of my first JoJo videos, I briefly talked about Diavolo, saying this: I like Diavolo's design, I like his stand, I like what we see of his personality, but it is very hard to have him as one of your favourite villains when we see so little of him. I think what I said still stands, but reflecting on his character, I wanted to elaborate on what exactly did and didn't work about him, because in a way it's quite impressive that Diavolo manages to give off a sense of identity in comparison to the other villains despite his relatively short appearance. One of the main traits that stick out with this character is his egotistical personality. On the surface, it does a great job of leaving an impression on you due to his stand's immense power, taking on the entire cast by himself. Furthermore, there is a real sense of dread for the protagonists due to how confusing his stand can be. The reason he's so prideful is due to him believing that he's been chosen, essentially being a god due to his insane luck in life such as his unnatural birth, finding the arrows, and gaining King Crimson. This is where he gets interesting. The man puts himself on a pedestal and is extremely prideful of the fact that fate has chosen him, being so deluded to the point that even when things are going against him, he believes the arrow-making Requiem stands as another gift for him, his reward for conquering his own past. He's always believed that the mere existence of the past is something to be wary of, which has resulted in his secretive nature. The lengths he goes to stay hidden are astounding, and by looking at one of his first present-day appearances you can tell that this obsession of his is taken to an unhealthy level, getting to the point that Doppio comes about as a second personality, a part of Vento Aureo I found fantastic at emphasising this aspect of his character. While secrecy and egotism may not seem like the most original traits to have, Diavolo takes them to the absolute extreme bordering on mental illness, which makes me appreciate how unstable a character he is. The reason for him staying hidden really confused me to begin with, but then I thought about the theme of Vento Aureo, fate. Bucciolati's team were born from really shitty circumstances and managed to accept it and move on, made clear in the Sleeping Slaves arc, which talks about how unavoidable fate is, but how we have to overcome it regardless. We couldn't have two more diametrically opposed groups, not only with Diavolo's start to life, but how he looks at his past. His secrecy shows how he obsesses over his past and has never managed to overcome any of the things that he considers obstacles. Ironically, since he considers the luck he had to be fate, he needs complete control over all aspects of his life and can't let any loose ends remain, being perhaps why he decided to be a mob boss, a pretty powerful position. On one hand we have Giorno and the gang who accepted and moved past their fate, and on the other hand we have Diavolo who became hung up by it and obsesses over his. Thematically, Diavolo is the perfect villain to face, and the final battle does a great job of tying up the overarching theme of the part. A common complaint is that he doesn't get a lot of screen time, and it's undeniable that villains like Kira and Dio have a lot more exciting moments than Diavolo does. However, I think if we saw him often, it would take away from the meaning presented by his character. I think that Diavolo is very well written, but that doesn't always translate as a good villain. At the end of the day, if he isn't shown for long, it can be hard for the reader to take an immediate liking to him, which is what I think the problem is for a lot of readers. In this regard, the depth he possesses is like a double-edged sword. Overall, Diavolo isn't perfect, but he still left a lasting impression on me and I enjoyed my time with him, despite how short it was. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.